Well, I thought I'd update you today on how the moringa are going. As you can see, since 2 days ago, did the video 2 days ago, the moringa are all opening up, getting bigger. Most of them have got 2 branches on them, so most of them are showing 2 branches. I am getting a little bit of a little bug in here, and here he is here. So what he's doing is he's eating the top off the moringa. So we'll get him out of here. And there's probably a few more down here because I got a couple of plants that are eaten out. But today I just my focus was on I'll just put him back down here because I know where he is then. My focus was on individual watering and make sure we do some good individual watering. So they're still popping up. I haven't weeded them again for 4 days. And see the weeds grow pretty quick here. High humidity. I focused on individual watering, and believe it or not, I watered that one there about an hour ago, and it's dried out pretty quick already. And that's because when we mix our soils up, we put sand and we put a lot of perlite and stuff like that in there to try and hold the moisture, but to make it like a really good mix for them. It does have a lot of vegetation material in there, which we don't mind because the little plants make it a little bit easier to find their way up. So they're coming along quite good. So we're pretty happy with them. It is winter here, so down overnight we're getting around about where we are. We're getting around about 5 to 8 degrees in the last couple of days. It's been down to the minus 1.8 in the last couple of weeks. I think about 3 days ago we were at 0 degrees Celsius. So it is winter here. But other than that, everything else is coming along all right. I better take my little crawly friend out. There he is there. So I'll take him out so he doesn't cause me any more harm in there. So they are coming along all right. I'll probably weed them tomorrow. I'll probably come along and just weed them tomorrow. So weeding this many moringa will take about 2 hours, which isn't that long. I do have some spare moringa growing in this pot here and in this pot. So what I did was I just put about a half dozen seeds in these pots, so that they're growing in these pots here, in the big pots. And I'll just transfer them in the pots that we don't get germination. I do have a new a paddock that I'm going to put these bigger ones in, or at least 10 of the bigger ones in. I'm going to try them there. It's a different soil on the property to the others. It's more of a silt, and it should be all right. We're going in an El Nino, so I'm thinking it will be pretty damn good. So according to the Bureau of Meteorology, anyhow, that's what they're saying. I'll just touch slightly on the on our friends at the FSANZ and their ban on moringa. Now they banned moringa because they fed rats the equivalent to hang on, I'll just break this one. So they just dropped it. That's a good one, Gary. So they fed. Just excuse my hand doing this one hand. So they fed moringa at 20% of the rat's diet, equivalent to 75 grams of leaf a day to a human, right? So equivalent to 75 grams. If you want to know how much 75 grams is, 75 grams would be probably something like about half the leaves on this table, right? There's no way in the world a person is going to eat that many leaves. If you've eaten moringa leaf direct, like that, moringa is very peppery. So you're not going to eat that much moringa because it is just really peppery, right? It's got a really strong flavour. It's really peppery. Most people put probably a handful of leaves in a stew or a curry or a salad or something like that to give it a little bit of flavour or something like that. They don't eat moringa leaves raw, like they were feeding the rats. So it was totally unrealistic study. Moringa is very good for you, but when you mix it, like for horses, it's recommended 5 to 15% of a bale of hay, right? So when you get a bale of hay, about 5 to 15%, and do that, and you only do it for short periods of time. So you don't do it all the time. You just do it for short periods of time. Now, most of the harvest season for fresh moringa leaves is summer. Your spring, summer, autumn, and then you don't get the fresh stuff, and then you've got to go into the powdered or granular moringa. It's highly concentrated because it takes a lot of moringa leaves to get one capsule of moringa powder, believe you me. So it's very highly concentrated, but even then, you couldn't put that much in anything. If you're making a smoothie or something like that, you use 1 to 3 teaspoons of moringa powder for a huge smoothie. I doubt whether you'd drink a smoothie with 3 in it, but you'd probably drink it with 1 in it. So you don't go using a lot of moringa powder for it to be beneficial to you. So because the study was so unrealistic, it made no sense for the band. Anyhow, I just thought I'd update you on that part of it, and a lot of you may be interested in that side of it. Next year, our plans are all that table will be planted in the ground. Everything on the floor here will be planted in the ground. Everything under that table there will be planted in the ground. Everything up here will be planted in the ground. So we're getting our paddock ready. I put lime on it. I put gypsum on it. I put sandy loam in it to try and break up the clay and make it as friable as I can. It will get about 8 truckloads of horse manure in it, and that will be disced in around about a month before we plant. So we're hoping, and then the soil's going to be pretty good at that stage, and then during that month, and then we'll do some further cultivation of it, and then we'll finally make beds, and then we'll put a mulch over the top of the beds, which will be we have a that's it there, not that one, this one. So we'll have that mulch over it. I do have a mulch layer that I'm building, so that should be ready by then as well. And then we'll have drip feed under it, so that we'll be able to manage the whole property better, manage the weeds better and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd update you on soil, how to grow them. If you're putting the seeds in your pot, and we use the bigger pots, we don't use the little pots anymore. We used to use the little pots and we had thousands of them. But now we just use the bigger pots, because then we don't do a transplant shock on them. These plants will probably be nearly 1/2 meter tall by the time we plant them. So the chances of a transplant shock will be minimal. They will be transferred from here, once it starts to warm up, into the shade house, and then from the shade house out into the open during the day, and then climatized before we put them in the paddock. So we're going all out with this. A lot of money invested in it, and our livelihood is invested in it. So I just thought I'd update you, and you might be interested.